Okay, give me 3 minutes and I'm going to show you the 3 best decks that you can use, what are the weaknesses of it, how you can use it, and how you can counter the meta with it. The first deck is going to be the Buzzwole deck. You're going to be using Katana to knock the baby Pokemons out or the early Pokemons out. You're going to be using Pheromosa to target the bigger threat, and then you can just silence the bigger threat using this Buzzwole. This deck is really effective because there is a lot of baby Pokemons going around and the baby Pokemons cannot escape the big legs. This deck is good against the Darkrai Giratina matchup, which is the most used deck in this game. This deck is also good against the Silvally Oricorio matchup. This deck is also good against most of the baby Pokemon decks, so you can easily beat them with this, and decent against the other decks. This deck is bad against the Espeon matchups and the Charizard matchup, so if you see them being used a lot in the ladder, please prefer the other two decks. The next deck is the Darkrai Giratina deck. Do I need to introduce this son of a... The best deck the game has ever seen, the most consistent deck, the oldest deck in this list, the absolute bully Darkrai Giratina. The idea is really simple, just put the Darkrai and Giratina in the play and harass the opponent with all your supporter cards. The biggest reason to use this deck right now is because there are a lot of Espeon decks being used, and this deck absolutely destroys the Espeon deck. This is a skill based deck, so you need to play some matches before you get the hold of it. This deck is good against a lot of matchups, but the more popular one is the Sylveon Greninja deck that is also weak to this deck. Oricorio used to be a big threat to this deck, but since you guys are not using Guzma in your Oricorio deck, it can sometimes beat Oricorio deck as well. In this meta, setting up 2 heavy damage dealing mons gives you so much advantage, right? And you can kind of switch around using Leaf as well. This deck used to use Mars and Red card both, but since we got Silver now, it can replace one of them. This deck is weak to Oricorio matchups and Buzzwole matchups, but overall this has been the best deck for like 4 or 5 months now. Ever since it came out, it has absolutely dominated the meta as tier deck. The next deck that we have is the Espeon deck. No one expected this deck to be great, right? But this is the best deck that came out of this booster pack. This I think is the second most used deck right now. Pretty good healing coverage, can 2-tap pretty much everything. Oricorio is not a threat as well because you have normal Espeon and Sylveon for that, and because almost no one uses Solgaleo right now, you can use this deck without any worry. The Sylveon will get you pretty much everything you'll ever need, so the chances of you bricking is also less. The normal Espeon is really overpowered in this deck as well because it only requires 1 energy and it deals so much damage, right? You can also go up to 130 damage with the normal Sylveon. This deck is good against Silvally Oricorio. This deck is also good against the Buzzwole deck, which you will see a lot as well. And this deck is weak to the Guzzlord deck, the Leafeon Flareon deck, and also the Darkrai Giratina deck. Basically, this deck is weak against the decks that 1-tap and do a lot of damage. The other decks it can handle really well. So yeah, there you go. I hope this helps picking the deck that you wanna use. As always, use whatever is good against the meta. The deck that you will encounter also depends on the rank, so take notice of that as well. If you see more Darkrai being used, use Buzzwole. If you see more Espeon being used, use Darkrai. If you see more Buzzwole being used, use Espeon. There is always a counter to the meta. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and
that's really about it. See ya.